The Last High King of Ireland by Patrick Fogarty. Pat Kinavan plays Tapper, a hard-drinking man and the self-appointed last High King of Ireland. In preparation for tonight's banquet, Tapper makes his daily procession through the town of Molyneux, meeting and greeting his subjects, some loyal and some not. With themes of an adult nature, this is The Last High King of Ireland by Patrick Fogarty.
The peal of the noon Angelus bells, undercurrented by a vroom of congested traffic and a gentle, harmless breeze. Tapper is perched upon the Massrock, his throne overlooking the tattered, worn town of modern-day Molyneux. A perennial vista, fit for a king. Grand old morning. Tis. Bigar. Tis a sweet, saccharine, sun-sucking day. Oh, that sun! That lily-like succubus, lilting with natural honey, that sessile torch, spilling tanks of light over yon kingdom. Watch it spread, buttering me province in melting gold. Blessed are all under the rule of the last High King of Ireland, heir to the throne of Tyrn and Og, where Manannán awaits his coming. Looky, look. Bee droning, hive moaning, gambolling traffic, the loyal brigadiers. Some peasants go hither and thither and back again on their local perambulations, fiddling with daily frustrations, the song of struggle jingling. The High King hears them. I, the High King, hear them cooing and booing, groping and grappling with things that never matter because they never do. To fill the grave of life with repetitious clods of the same clay. Ha! What waste! Guffaw does the king at their strange following all trodden ways. They are each the same bone-brangling, numb-knuckling, rule-buckling, brown-beaten mule, each donning dwindling, stress-bell-tingling harnesses, but all abiding by the law and scripture of the High King. Some noble men and women amongst them, some not so. But they'll all feel the benevolence of the High King. His immutable heart shall commend those whom from his scroll live their lives well, and he shall extend an invitation to tonight's banquet. All hail the last High King of Ireland. A carriage swerves past, some young fledglings spouting jests at the High King. The king salutes his loyal subjects as the carriage treks onward. Jesters of the low class, of the dung heap. But the fool is he who mocks the foolish king. His Highness cracks open a tankard of the royal porter, the coal black gold. An elixir made for monarchs. This is my last of the morn. Oh, I drank my nest of plums last night. And again, the stars got drunk with me. Oh, we dreamt of bacchanalian treasure, and I vomited up me dreams at 3:30. I waltzed my queen, my purling moon, until we became drowsy paramours, and she lay me down, and she knitted me a blanket of moonlight kissed me brow and sang a lullaby as smooth as baptismal milk. All hail the last High King of Ireland. The king gulps, delighting in the etherizing cream. This supple, dark, black potion, a miraculous poison, modern hemlock, rotting me soul. Milliliter by milliliter, lip by lip, day by day, king by king, a saviour of all those fallen from grace, down the chasm of yesteryear and morrow, a pool of plain, steep and sorrow, puddling in the pit of the dragon's lair. 'Tis a liquor fit only for a king. Nip, pip, hooray! All hail the last High King of Ireland. The High King hears the clunking clatter of percussion coming from Molyneux School of Music. They best sharpen them notes before tonight's banquet. Oh, this life is a racket. We must make music of its notes. Our king finishes, his thirst slaked, the dragon quelled. For now. I fish, fish, fish in me pockets, and some perp has looted me bounty, now for coppers and burnt pence. I'll have to ask my subjects, for which they'll gladly provide. I am the High King. The king rises from his throne to preview his kingdom, walking at a steady march. Foot by foot march the king. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. His Majesty spies a loyal subject, strolling to the market stall. Hey. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Peter.
Oh, hello, Tapper. How are you?
Grand old morning.
Yeah, lovely day.
Peter, have you changed for a coffee for the High King of Ireland?
Oh, it's for coffee, is it, Tapper?
A warm cup of coffee, but it's for the High King of Ireland.
I've only the bell change, Tapper.
The loyal subject hands over the change, lest he risk the wrath of his king, departing with some loose doubloons. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Who's that man, Daddy?
Yeah, he's no one, sweetie.
I'm the High King of Ireland.
He smells like carrots.
All hail the last High King of Ireland. The peasant and his wench exeunt from the stall, and the High King procures more liquor from the pimply vendor.
Just these two, a can and a coffee.
Yeah.
$4.50, please.
Thank you.
There's only enough for one item.
Take back the coffee. A king has no need of coffee.
You're right there, Tapper.
And keep the change, my boy.
There was no change. You were short.
Yep. Buy yourself an ice cream. Our king purchases his goods and swiftly marches into the street, the sun beating down upon his balding crown. Another day in this God-glorious kingdom, and way above me crown, the substance of me eyes, the cool crystal pool blue, clear hue of the sky, sparkles with divine favour. The banner of mankind, the swaying, shimmering cupola of bright blue, splotched in splodges of white spools, the leavened, unbaked dough of clouds, and way beneath me brow, me cultivated land, acres trembling with the universal pulse, the heartbeat of God of rock and flesh, the bustle and tussle of a percipient realm, ladies and knights anon, stewards and barons gone, carrying out the High King's errands. They best make haste, a kingdom does not itself run. No, it certainly does not. All hail the last High King of Ireland. A loyal subject passes, as fair a maid as was ever made.
Hiya, Tapper. Grand day.
All hail the High King of Ireland. Good day to you, missy.
Hiya. That's it, Tapper. All hail.
Have you the change for a cup of coffee?
Have I the change for a cup of coffee? You must be cotton me, Tapper. Have you the change for a cup of coffee for me?
King and maid laugh heartily. She passes by, lightly going to complete the king's errands, a foolhardy, buxom woman. Our king treks the road. Without glancing, a carriage blares, nearly knocking down His Highness.
Nearly knocked it down! Clown!
All hail the High King of Ireland.
Oh, I'll hail you now in a minute, all right?
Our lordship passes on. In search of sport, the king must have his daily entertainment. His loyal nobleman, Sir Paddy of the Power, always provides good sport. A gambling man, hope has he. A gambling man, oh, a gambling man. A gambling man, hope has he. A gambling man, a gambling man. His Majesty arrives at the turf accountants. The porchway bestrewn in cigarette butts and betting slips. Parchments of lost hope. The aroma of tobacco singes me nostrils. A peasant stands guard, a lit skiff betwixt his lips, trailing the genus Nicotiana, spicing the seasoned wind. Early morning cigarette, early morning early bet, early morning cigarette, early morning early bet. By God, the High King would like a cigarette, and so decreed, so shall come. Hey, you wouldn't have to scut of a fag, huh? It's for the High King of Ireland.
Yeah, sure. Here you are, Tapper.
The High King of Ireland grants you his blessing.
Yeah, I might need that. Any runners for the half-12, Tapper?
Oh, I do, begar. Me very own mayor, King Caviar.
You on it, do you, Tapper?
He belongs to the last High King of Ireland. All hail the last High King of Ireland. His Highness nimbly places the cigarette to his ear and enters his abode, seeking good sport which Paddy Power shall undoubtedly provide. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. I hear the galloping mares gambling, igniting hearts in gambled flames, fueled by faith and fueled by speed, burning up our fortune stock, our breaths to fate. We have agreed ourselves to give to gilded steeds, the husking horse's deadly snout, the breathless, striding out, the rhythming fetlock on its way, the clip and clop of hoof on clay, the soaring ditch and fence, the pumping pulse of spent suspense, each weighed with but one jockey and 1,000 dreamers' dreams. The steeds take their places. The race about to begin.
Hi, it's starting, lads, it's starting.
What
Follows to the
sport!
first fence, fine General Thumb, white cap on the outside.
Go on, you good thing. Go!
You haven't backed Paddy, Tapper. Come on.
Blue diadem and fury might. We're all clear. Blue bars racing to the ditch. Detached at the back. Listen, deer on the outside. So may I run. Last second in the orange.
Hear that, me boys? That's the beating of heart and hoof of the drum of man's soul. Dum, da, dum, da, dum, da, dum.
Good man, Tapper.
Go on, you good thing.
Coming in
Up
towards
you
the
go.
last
I hear you, High King of Ireland.
Inside is Shapalabadingdong. And so may I run. And coming towards the final. And there to the inside.
Use the whip.
Caviar in the gold
Keep
crown.
going, boy.
It's neck and neck. King Caviar leading, followed by Listen Dear. 5 lengths ahead. They break away. It's King Caviar. King Caviar and Listen Dear. It's neck and neck. Close to the line. Listen Dear and King Caviar. King Caviar and Listen Dear. It's tight. It's Listen Dear. Listen Dear. Oh, steals it. Right at the
Horse on dog, yeah.
Here, look, Tapper.
Quenched. I'm quenched. What flickering hope I had.
Always another race, Tapper. There's always another race.
Isn't that the problem?
Better look next time, Tapper, eh?
My race is run. The day is done. My race is run. The day is done. The High King stumbles out the door, out into the fresh air, and plucks the cigarette from his ear. He searches his gown for some kindling, not there. He must ask a peasant nearby. Hey, have you got a light?
Piss off, drunken fool.
That prickly vagabond. She'll be condemned to the stocks yet. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you got a light?
If it isn't the High King himself.
All hail the last High King of Ireland.
What was it you asked for, pet? A lighter?
The maid sparks the king's cigarette.
Here.
And away she goes. The crisp-lipped suck of a cigarette. The smooth frankincense, the soothing smog of interminable stress. The supple chute of smoke, sucked to the dredges of the lungs, spreading dark roots across my veins, spreading stalks till I exhale. Fumes of exhaust. Each drag becalms me dilapidated spirit, yet clogs the arteries of me soul. My tobacco-funneled blood gobbling up days and hours distilled in whiskey and salt. Listen to the rasping palpitations of the hock-filled soul as I husk. Vacuumed of the immaculate, this life-lit cigarette is the consoling pollution of flesh. Our king smokes his cigarette and marches his way up Parsley Street, parading past O'Donovan's butchers, and gazes in the glass window. Such rare and fair fodder stands on display. Our Highness enters to better peruse the meaty ailments. Slacks of raw, red, lozenged meat. Slimy slumps of sausages and pork chops, ribeye steaks, legs of lamb, back bacon and brisket. Victuals for the hungry carnivore. Oh, they best prepare me the finest of banquets, a feast fit only for a king. A great banquet shall be held for all the king's subjects. Oh, the festivities shall be frolicsome. We shall squash our hearts, make wine of it, drink the last of our love, drink what love is left.
Tapper, put out that feckin' fag.
Hey, have you the banquet prepared, Pat? The High King extinguishes said cigarette, and Pat the butcher continues slicing meat. Sorry, Pat, but tell me this, have you the banquet prepared?
Oh, we have, Tapper, we have it prepared. All for the High King of Ireland, of course.
Good work, Pat. Pat, we want a wild boar too, in the middle of the table, an apple in his gob. A wild boar.
A wild boar with an apple in his gob. No problem.
All hail the last High King of Ireland.
All hail, Tapper. Now get out.
Our Highness perambulates past McCann's Hardware, passing the post office, traversing by McSwiggan's, and enters Clayton's Pharmacy. This stocked apothecary, full of strange, fangled remedies and haughty elixirs, cures and herbs for cuts and stings, the curative alchemists blending nature's ingrediented beauty with the medicinal sciences, bending nature's power to the health of man. Have ye a cream for my inner woe? Have ye a balm for lost memories? This is all for a prolonging of flesh, nothing here for the soul.
Can I help you with anything, Tapper?
My fine alchemist? Yes, I require Nurofen for the soul.
Do you have a headache? Some tablets, is it?
I require tablets to give life some meaning.
I'll give you a Lemsip then.
I have no headache yet. My head, it aches. It aches. Oh, it aches.
I think you're codding us, Tapper, are you? Nothing wrong with you at all.
Mad for your elixirs. A herb for every malady, says you. Listen to the High King. He speaks a parlance truth.
OK, Tapper. That'll do.
The High King marches back into the street, marching foot by foot, on past the old castle, where the restoration is being carried out. As he walks past, he waves, saluting the King's work. All hail, me laddies. We shall soon be restored to our former glory.
Good man, Tapper!
Tapper, you gobshite!
All hail, all hail!
Continuing his march up Main Street, the High King begins to feel a bit peckish. Some lunch afore the evening feast. Yes, some skimmed potatoes, grown fresh, hand-washed lopped spuds, cut and peeled staves of starch to appease a king's belly. And in he marches to Tosca's chipper. The delectable aroma of malt and salt, tingling, mingling with bespattering oil, frizzling on chips, sizzling on burgers, a sauce for the senses, mouth-watering fodder to serenade the hunger and visibly tango with my titillating tongue.
Tapper, me old flower.
Ah, the finest maid in all the land, the Lady of the Spuds.
Oh, the Lady of the Spuds. Oh, you're a howl, Tapper.
The king shall grant the Lady of the Spuds 1,000 acres to grow her golden satchel beauties, all the land from here to the standing stones of Loch Ray.
Oh, will you, Tapper?
So spoken, so shall be done.
Well, let me tell you, Tapper, the last High King of Ireland still won't have to pay a dime for his chips.
Now, keep that under the hat for fear the king be accused of nepotism.
Oh, we're getting into it now, Tapper.
A good shepherd looks after his own flock.
The Lady of the Spuds rustles up a small bag of chips and bestows them on his lordship, happy to offer bountiful food to the king.
Here you are, Tapper. One bag, as usual. A sausage thrown in. Now keep that under the hat, for fear I'd be the one accused of nepotism.
They laugh heartily, king and lady.
I shall be Machiavellian in my duties. De Valera himself wouldn't be as coy.
Oh, good man, Tapper. Take care.
All hail the last High King of Ireland.
And Tapper,
Yeah?
try lay off the drink, if you can.
A good king tells no lies. This world too wise for my foolish dreams. Thank you. The king exits the chipper, the bag growing soggy in his hands. Back out into the carousing streets.
Oh, a biting dogtooth in that breeze, snarling at the wanderlust of the sun, growling with the ominous clouds.
Let not the effluvial flood come. Hold back thy sobbing sheets of bubble wrap, plopping the narrow streets of our kingdom, soaking our unearthly beds. The High King sits again upon the Mass Rock and gazes down the hill of Molyneux. The dragon swoops as he eats his chips, and he cracks the dragon, opening the pool of plain. A kingly gaze down, the town, the town, the town. We are all but the clown, who wears an inner crown. The king munches upon the chips and sups his glorious stout.
The humming of passing, passing, passing. 'Tis but the music of transient bones, the melody of our flesh-locked vessels splashing in the sea of souls.
Our High King rises from his throne and looks to the sky, the sun now at its zenith. Oh, ho, ho, ho! 'Tis the apotheosis of Apollo. Time to collect the king's tax. His Highness begins his march down to the post office, marching foot by foot.
A king must have his tax, lest the peasants bear his axe.
He turns down Gantley Street and crosses Lourdes Road.
Go on, Tapper. All hail the last High King of Ireland.
Our Majesty spies McCann's hardware store and decides upon a king's visit.
Jack, 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 how fares my fine armoury?
Tapper, how are you today?
As well as any king can be.
What are you up to, eh? Feck all, I suppose.
I'm here to make certain the kingdom is protected and secure.
From who, Tapper?
Who do you think? The damn Fomorians.
Of course.
Well, do you have the army ready?
Oh, the army's ready, Tapper. The army's ready.
Each man fully equipped, spear, sword, shield, dagger.
All fully equipped, Tapper. Daggers and swords and the whole lot.
Steel plate.
Yep. Steel plate. Reinforced.
I tell you, Jack, we'll not be caught with our pants down.
His Majesty drops his pantaloons to showcase the plans of the enemy to Jack McCann, who understands immediately.
Ah, for God's sake, Tapper, pull your feckin' pants up.
The High King swiftly does so.
You're one of the noble class, Jack. The kingdom can count on the breath of men like you.
That's great, Tapper, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave now.
I've seen all that needed seeing to, Jack. All hail the last High King of Ireland.
Good man, Tapper. Take it easy now, won't you?
When the kingdom is safe, only then
shall a king rest assured.
That's right, Tapper. Good luck.
His Excellency exits McCann's Hardware and marches right to the post station, where he'll collect his weekly tax. The king has come his tax to take, the weekly sum of towage pay, and hope for him it shall awake. That hope, like old, shall fade away.
Hello, Tapper. How are you today?
Lisa, my tax collector, how fare thee today?
As good as ever, Tapper. Now, I have your money. Just sign here.
The king's tax?
Oh, aye, the king's tax.
Any blackguards fail to pay the weekly tithe?
No, Tapper. All paid their fair share.
That is good news. Last thing we want is a damn tax revolt on our hands.
Oh, aye, that's the last thing we want, Tapper.
The High King signs his coveted signature.
The document has been signed by the king. All hail.
Good man, Tapper. Take care of yourself now.
You too, my dear.
And you'll stay out of the pub, won't you, Tapper?
Excepting the banquet tonight.
Of course. The banquet.
I expect to see you there, adorned in the finest of jewels.
Oh, I will, Tapper. I'll be there. Bye now.
All hail the last High King of Ireland. The king rambles back into town, the dragon beginning to rear its ugly head from the pit of his belly.
The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst.
Parading through Saoirse Street, passing the markets and stalls, the High King waves to them all. Good day to ye.
How's it going, Tapper?
Be prepared for tonight. We shall host a feast like no other, all in honour of the last High King of Ireland.
All hail, Tapper.
The High King extends this invitation to all his loyal subjects. Come on, come on.
Will you take me for a drink, Tapper?
The king is he who proudly wears the jester's hat.
Good man, Tapper. How are you, love?
The sunlight of the day begins to shed its aerial golden leaves, departing from the sky, dissipating to the distance, revolving with the shimmering pool of evening blue, shading the buildings and walls with the familiar hue of dusk. The omnipotent eventide, like the sea, imperceptibly sweeping over the town, washing our daily sins into the memory of yesterdays. Nothing caught in the net of legacy but the debris of experience and well-spent moments. The rest of our hours now fading to the realm of the forgotten, with the fading sunlight, lost to the dimension of time, which we all edge towards. His Highness continues his travels, making his way to the end of Saoirse Street and spies Shaw's clothes shop. The finest tailor in all the land, Shaw's. 'Tis where me crown for the evening shall be got, the crown of Molyneux. The High King enters the royal tailors. Good day to ye.
Oh, Lord Tapper, we're just about getting ready to close.
Have no fear. I'm in need of a crown. From the royal tailor himself.
What, Tapper?
Exactly. A crown fit for a king. Tonight's feast wouldn't be complete without it.
We really are just about to close, Tapper.
The king spies a woolen camo hat on the hat rack and picks it up, trying it on for size. A crown fit for a king.
You want the hat, is it, Tapper?
Yeah. And wait, a gown to match.
Well, we have no gowns.
The crown will have to do.
The hat, you mean?
The crown will have to do.
Are you sure you want the hat, Tapper?
As sure as Santa Monica.
Okay, well, it's a tenner, Tapper. Do you have a tenner?
Take 50 of my finest gold coins.
No, it's a tenner, Tapper.
His Majesty hands over €50 of his tax collection from earlier.
Right, Tapper, there's 40 back.
A crown fit for a king. All hail the last High King of Ireland. The High King exits the royal tailors, donning his new crown. To play the king, one must look the part. His Highness, turning up Main Street once again, hears music. A speaker trumpets and blares. What rhythm! What What rhyme! The mirthful air strips besotting fruit from trees and gladly squashes music to sensual joy. A squeeze, sweet juice for our ears, flowing candied in the breeze. The High King dances and applauds, singing along without knowing the words. His Highness claps and whoops in joy. If music be the food of love, play on, I say, play on. Oh, a fine warm-up for the night's festivities. The High King moves in a feverish sway. His spirits have arisen, awaiting the great banquet. He marches foot by foot down the street until at long last, he comes to his palace, the King's Head, where the evening banquet is to be held. A royal banquet for the ages in honour of the last High King of Ireland, where wine and beer shall flow in endless rivers, teeming through the hearts of each peasant, each nobleman alike, bubbling liquid gold, alleviating the pain of the past. Aye, a hearth shall burn by the wall and burn the sadness out into the streets. Our companionship shall be bound together to one sheaf, strapped by copulation, all snuggly, sheltered from doom, laughing at the bouncing rain of tribulations that pounds mercilessly at the windowpane of our souls. We listen to its eurythmic wretchedness, but cuddle ourselves with the hope of tomorrows and distant futures, the paragon of our dreams that we strive towards endlessly discovering our interminable end. All hail the last High King of Ireland! The king walks up to the sentry, Babs the barwoman, who stands on. Stand down, madame. 'Tis me.
Tapper, have you been drinking much today?
The bare minimum.
Can I believe that now, Tapper?
A good king tells no lies.
Look, Tapper, we don't want any trouble tonight. I let you in for the 1 or 2, but then you have to go. And if there's any rows, you'll be out. No messing.
I'm here for the banquet only. No peace shall be broken upon my word.
Well, you said that last night, Tapper, as well. And the night before that, and the night before that. And we all know what happened.
I'm a man of me word.
All right, so, Tapper. But I'll be keeping an eye on you.
God's blessings to you.
And Tapper?
Yes?
Mind yourself.
The High King enters the pub, which is empty, save the common few. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. The king is thirsty and must slake his thirst. He marches to the bar, where Babs the barwoman is serving. Good day to you all, and to all a good day. The last High King of Ireland grants his blessing.
New hat, Tapper?
A new crown, fit for a king.
Oh, a crown, I see.
The king would like his fix of liquor.
I'll pour you one, Tapper. And we'll see how you go with that.
Thanking you. Babs the barwoman turns to pour the pint and lets it sit a moment.
So, tell me, Tapper, where did you go off gallivanting today?
The king was ruling his kingdom. No time for gallivanting.
I see. And what news from the kingdom?
Well, unless you've been living under a damn rock, you've probably heard tell that the Fomorians are about to attack any day now. Aye, any day. We best be prepared.
Aye, true that, Tapper. Well, here's your pint. Now go easy, will you?
Lovely hurling, thank you, Bab. The High King raises the glass and tastes. The dragon roars, breathing its fiery thirst into the doldrums of me belly, rising the steam of lechery to my lips, quivering in anticipation of that smooth, ambrosial cream. This smooth cream, the disposable chrism that benumbs the lodged woe inside, unlodging out Yet, oh, the hedonic beauty of the dark, peat-black liquid slumping in the bog of my soul, the marshland, a barren landscape with a soft, blowing wind, a sorrowful song eternally playing as I foot days, day by day, turf by turf, seeking the fuel to make the soul blaze once again. I sup, feeling the slap of the drink in the familiar place. I feel each seedling drop being sucked to my heart, where it does coalesce to a grim, grimy, gravelling sludge, layering the mind with the happiness of forgetfulness. I forget who I really am. And then I'm the last High King of Ireland. All hail. All hail.
Go easy, Tapper. You near slugged that pint before I had it handed to you.
Another, if you would. Make haste.
I'll pour you one, but sup this one, or else that'll be it.
Another, if you would. Make haste.
I'm warning you now, Tapper.
Sláinte.
I said go easy, Tapper.
The High King sculls the pint. 'Tis the sweet foam of the sea, bubbling my bare body with the effervescence of a whirlpool. I come unstuck. My limbs begin to loosen and my tongue waggles and my heart wibbles and my legs wiggle and my soul wobbles to and fro, swaying in the tide of drunkenness, seeking to plunder yet another and find the answer. It will be at the bottom of the next glass and all will be well. All hail the last High King of Ireland. The High King requests a round of spirits. Whiskey.
No, Tapper. No whiskey for you.
Just a tipple for me nipple.
No, Tapper. You know what you're like. I don't want any rows later.
A sup of the Ishkaba, wash away me sins.
Christ. Just a small one.
Bab the barwoman, how I love you so.
All right, all right.
I tip you, my loyal subject. You are my only loyal subject. Babs the barwoman takes a deep breath.
Here you are.
And pours a whiskey for the king.
Go easy.
All hail the last High King of Ireland. Our Majesty throws the whiskey back, downing the drink in one. An intravenous draconian fire, full of spite and malevolence, regurgitating the darkness from within. I am beneath the sword of Damascus. I am locked between the jaws of the dragon, eternally rattling at his teeth. Bab, whiskey.
No, Tapper. No more whiskey.
Hear ye, hear ye. Listen to the king. The king must have his drink.
Do you ever shut your gob, Tapper?
Easy, Maloney. He means no harm.
All hail the last High King of Ireland.
And will you shut your feckin' mouth, you gobshite, or I'll close it for you.
All hail the last High King of Ireland. The High King is struck across the face, and a melee ensues.
Be a feckin' clown, you!
The fool is he who mocks the foolish king.
Stop it, lads! Stop!
Will you get that bollocks out of here? Get him out so we can have a drink in peace.
Easy now.
To the stocks with him.
Easy, Tapper. Here, come here. Come here to me now. Let's go.
But this is the king's banquet.
No. No, Tapper. No, tomorrow is the banquet. But now we have to go.
Tomorrow, the greatest banquet shall be held. All for the last. Of Ireland. Babs the barwoman ushers the High King from the bar and out towards the exit, guiding him gently.
Aye. Come on now. Aye, that's it. Good man. Good man.
Babs, I love how I love you so.
Oh, listen to me. Come on. You'll be
Bab.
grand.
Bab, I miss my mam.
Oh, sweetheart. She's looking down on you, darling.
I miss my mam.
Come on, and we go.
Babs the barwoman closes the door behind him, sighing softly. The High King begins his journey upward, back to the top of Molyneux. He passes Shaw's, he turns up past the post office, past McCann's hardware store, up by Tosca's chipper, marching foot by foot, down by Clayton's pharmacy, past O'Donovan's butchers, and on past Paddy Power. He stops at the Mass Rock, at the top of the hill, the throne of the town, and gazes down. The town has cocooned itself into the snuggery of night. A solemn breeze whispers through the gates and locked doors, whistling into the crevices of walls and down chimney pots. I can see the whole kingdom from here. As it descends along a valley of man-made masonry, sheltering from snarish elements, the serenity of stillness in the smattering of twinkling lights, and I hear the lonely hum of distant traffic from the motorway intercepting the loneliness of the wind, mingling with one another. The High King hears melody coming from the School of Music. Not some clatter like before, no. He hears soft, gentle music playing joyously. He lies down on the rock, stretching back upon his throne, gazing skyward. But 'tis a kingdom above my head, too. That this must be the kingdom of heaven, stars glimmering in the light at the arrival of the impenetrable night. The flickering contouring of constellations, shimmering in skulking blues, marine greens, violent violets, spilling blood red, all exploding onto the eyes of lookers to the sky, tinting each soul with hope, reminding us of a time that is now irrevocably lost, of our youth, now like a distant moon, the brooch of luminescent reminiscence glittering with a sidereal nostalgia, the moonlight forever reciting the strange poetry of wonder, a silent soliloquy performed by our destiny. I listen to the world, hopelessly trying to decipher the vast compendium of mortality, answered only when we succumb to realize that there is no question, and we are the answer. And so I drift from one kingdom to the next, adrift in the eternal flux of nature. My bones are weary. My mind grows thin. I can hear the stars sigh at my imminent passing. They shall soothe my ache and rock me to sleep, softly, 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 in the cradle of the moon. My eyes are heavy. My body weighs a ton. I'm going now to the palace of dreams. When I wake, we shall go to that grand banquet to take my place as the last High King of Ireland.
We've been listening to The Last High King of Ireland by Patrick Fogarty. The play took first place in the 2022 PJ O'Connor Radio Drama Awards. Pat Kinavan was Tapper, the last High King of Ireland. Joe Taylor played the part of Maloney. John D. Ruddy was McCann, and Sharon Mannion was Lisa of the Tithe. The tailor was played by Enda Oates. Dawn Bradfield was Lady of the Spuds, and Bab the barwoman was Noni Stapleton. Ellie Brosnan Corkery played the child, and all other parts were played by the company. Harpist Geraldine Doherty arranged and performed the music. Sound design and sound supervision was by Damien Chanel. The Last High King of Ireland by Patrick Fogarty was directed by Goretti Slavin.
Jim did invite Stanny.
You did invite me.
Then Stanny needn't have come.
Your prerogative it was to accept the invitation or not.
Jim could have been more understanding.
I gave up my chances of an accountant in Dublin to be here.
Then again he thought he had.
I landed you a teaching post in Trieste with far greater possibilities.
Jim, you see's my husband.
Not really.
And another thing, why don't you get married?
He won't.
Particularly with young Giorgio.
A new century. Great strides we'll see in how the family's constituted.
He's going highfalutin now.
Something wrong with the language of the educated.
Are you listening in on what I'm saying?
Just as well, it would appear.
For my words is mine.
Stanny, might I touch you for the odd 2 crowns?
God, can't he move from one thing to the other?
You only got paid 2 days ago.
Expenses of a baby.
You what?
Toss it up and I'll see you sound next term. Go on.
What for?
Give them to him.
Well, I don't want you throwing it away.
My other self, Stanny.
He can always do with another self as his own self doesn't always do so much.
A metaphor, you understand that?
I won't have you speak with me like that, Jim Joyce.
He's not being serious, Nora.
So what if he is or not? He shouldn't say it.
Stanny, who aids and abets my writing.
Amuse, like.
Not amuse. Amuse is a woman. Stanny
I remember when it was Stanislaus first came to Trieste.
Benvenuto a Trieste. You commence in the morning. Joyce and Joyce. 41 crowns per week. 3 only less than me.
Great. Hello, Nora. I trust you are well.
A smart suit you'll require. We've to educate distinguished persons. Count Sordina, Baron Raleigh, editor of Piccolo della Sera, Roberto Prezioso.
And a banker's wife by the name of Roberta.
Now, I took the liberty of informing them you've a bachelor's degree from the National University of Ireland.
But I don't.
Yera, why would you need to show a certificate? A brother of mine's taken at his pledge here. Do you think you could see your way to the lend of 2 crowns, only the landlady's pesting after her rent?
You've no money.
Not 1 centesimo. Right, Nora? Nora, isn't that right?
Yes, Jim, you're right. Jim's always right. Jim's a writer. But not a writer what he'd call conventional. For I imagine a conventional one to have money.
A touch of poverty never harmed any prospective artist.
Jim's a romantic notion of being poor.
My family was seriously on its hunkers as I was growing up, and it harmed my observational powers not 1 jot.
Man about town in Dublin is not quite Galway drudge.
The stories you do be telling about the goings-on in the environs of Galway.
He writes my sayings down, and used to send them to Stanny, and he then puts them in books.
Powerful sayings, so they are.
Jim likes his cod Irish, his yerras and his so they ares.
The men that is now is only all palaver and what they can get out of you.
Something like that I said, but not the same.
The artist it is who manipulates reality.
Lies, you mean?
Women can be so cruel, Nora.
Is that an experience, is it?
I chose you over all other girls.
None of your girls from comfortable houses would take you.
Someone as unlike me as possible.
How unlike? And don't you call me someone.
Not a woman too sophisticated to give her proper self.
What's wrong with a little sophistication?
One day I'll have you in the best hat money can buy.
Meanwhile, I make do with scrimping and scraping.
You know how fond I am of you.
Jim can never use the word love.
Love's indefinable, so how can I mean what I say?
I've said it often enough about me to you, yes.
And then I asked him with my eyes to ask again, yes. And then he asked me, would I, yes, to say yes, my mountain flower.
Huh? Will you pay bloody attention?
Sorry, Nora. Let's go back to Stanny. Make him feel at home on his first night.
Do you know what a past conditional is, Jim?
Yara, didn't I grow up on nothing but?
Seriously now.
I do, but I've forgotten and proud I am to forget.
How do you teach the students properly?
They listen and then repeat what I say. Like my women, Nora.
You wish.
Correct usage?
Follow my diction and I don't see how they go wrong. Dublin English is as good as the best, and sure amn't I a supreme exponent of the Dublin dialect. Let's amble to Paulo's for a snifter.
As I'm starting my first morning,
I'll introduce you to Roberto Prezioso, editor of Piccolo della Sera. The Italians are a most hospitable people.
Hope they don't be talking Italian like they done with me.
Nora è timido, eh, James?
He's saying something about my name.
I was saying how hospitable the Italian race is.
Sì, molto ospitale.
A hospital?
Nora. I'd ask you along also, Nora, but I know it's not what you like.
Go right ahead and make all the decisions for me.
Thank you, my dear.
It's called irony. Didn't hear that, did you?
You are a chip of the old block. And James, he tell me you are a literary man, all the nicer to see you.
He's my other self, Signor Prezioso.
Una musa? Una musa is woman. Beatrice for Dante, eh?
I'm a critic of James' work. Jim will one day be a renowned writer.
Oh, you're all critic. My newspaper, I am critic of Austria. Soon in Trieste we pay lira, not foreign crowns. Like Dublin, no? You say English go, vada.
Signor Prezioso and his newspaper are in favour of the unification of Trieste with Italy.
Ah, I am internationalist. Ireland too. Ireland unfree, never be addressed.
We're not all in favour of Irish nationalism, Signor Prezioso.
Pardon?
Some of us believe change of government would make little difference. The character that needs altering. James is determined that Ireland take one good square look at itself.
Stanislaus can tell a good one when he's determined.
Ah, joking. Pulling at my leg, huh?
We are Irish nationalists when it is in our economic interest to be so, Stanny. Come, let us imbibe one more bottle of best Italian vino. Signore, una altra carafa.
I think I'll go back to the house.
Stay on, will yez?
House?
I need to prepare my class and it's getting late.
A man of the degree of National University in Ireland, he do not prepare. He speak extempore, huh?
Couldn't put it better myself, Roberto.
2 classes I've had already and Nora's alone with the child.
Irishman, look after baby. You are joking me. James?
So much the more for us to sup, Signor Prezioso. Signore, 2 altre carafe.
See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Signor Prezioso.
I don't know what saved your brother, James.
Tell the truth, I don't know what rightly to say of Stanislaus. He's not drunkard nor sponge. Yes, and not one to make free with me. Only, but he's never been warm. He thinks Jim should have done better. And Stanislaus is nothing if he doesn't think the most of his brother.
He's a happy young fella.
As good as gold.
Imagine that. And when you first met Jim...
Their aspiring poet hitches with a chambermaid.
To think now there's someone else there.
You're an uncle?
You know, I was wondering what you were like for ages.
Jim had known me 3 months and 11 days before he could introduce me to his brother.
You're now the mother of Jim's child.
Could this be an apology?
The repository of the Joyce line.
Come on, and give over them jawbreakers.
I thought you might get in the way of Jim's writing.
Huh? What thinking is it in the Joyce mind at all?
Who'll shoe my babe's little feet? Who'll put gloves on her hand? Who'll tie my babe's middle with a long green band?
Get to bed.
Nora.
Get to bed, no more out of you.
This song's for you, Nora.
Did you hear? You've a sleeping child up above.
I love you and I just want a glass of water.
Making a holy show of yourself. Hope to God Mrs. Jeety didn't hear.
No, drink is what gets creative urges going.
What is it possessed me to go away with you at all? Look at that shirt.
Good. Confrontation. We need explore confrontation.
As for that time waster Roberto Prezioso.
He likes you. Told me himself. Stanny's who I love most in the world. My muse.
It's rather late, Jim, and we both need to work tomorrow.
I love you, Stanny. I love you, Nora, I do.
God, I could brain you.
See you in the morning, Jim.
Well, Stanny gets up bright and early.
My tie straight, Nora?
And Jim gets up. Stanny goes to teach.
The passive is composed of the verb to be added to the past participle. Example, the baby's cry is heard.
And Jim goes to teach.
Any lazy, idle loafers that want flogging in this class? What is a loafer?
And as the days go on, Stanny goes on teaching.
The past conditional often expresses regret or criticism. If I'd known, I wouldn't have come.
And Jim goes on.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, said the prefect of studies. Where did I get that from?
They each have their defenders.
Accuracy, Signor Joyce. I admire accuracy in the language.
Liberate, Signor Joyce. Who care for errors? Editor is not the editor of subs.
But Stanny begins and finishes his teaching in class.
See you at the same hour tomorrow, Signorina Cellico.
Not so, Jim.
You really must read more of Boccaccio, Roberta.
That is Boccaccio, how you say. Immorale.
Love for Boccaccio is a delicacy to be shared. If ideals of Europe follow the generous spirit of Boccaccio and not the strictures of Dante.
Signora Joyce, your husband, he'd tell me Boccaccio is autore of love.
Does he also know I want him home for he's a baby needs looking after? That's the love, yes, we're sharing.
We were studying literature, dear.
Then I'll take myself off for a drink in one of them smart cafes by the old town. Yes, and smoke a cigar.
A cigar? Women don't smoke cigars.
Maybe I'm the modern kind of woman, with a generous spirit.
But other men might.
Normally when a man just looks at me, Jim's in a state.
Did he just whistle at you?
Did he, Jim?
Don't say you didn't notice now. Scusa, è mia moglie.
That means I'm his wife. Are you serious getting upset about men whistling at me?
How do you mean? Of course I'm serious.
Sometimes I think it's only cotton. Being like a man would be jealous only for your books.
Jim needs to explore a complexity of emotions, Nora.
Where did he creep in?
His collection of Dublin stories is being held up by the publishers, and when they're made available, things will look up for us all.
Why aren't they published now? They're thought dirty, yes?
The scope of my literature shall not be dictated by Dublin Philistines.
God, doesn't he go on the blazes about the place, considering that's where he left? Dublin and sex.
It is the unconscious which directs my focus, Nora.
Are you reading what I'm saying again? Write a book, will you? Everyone wants to read.
I intend to represent truthfully imperfections in the Dublin attitude to intimacy.
Like when we first met?
I do respect you, you know.
If I didn't think so, I wouldn't be letting you do it.
Serious, Nora. I'll stay with you.
I know what it is a man wants and see no harm in giving it him. Do you want to do it again?
You mean?
Again, yes.
By God, Nora, you're great.
But now he's changing. Jim?
Yes, Nora?
Come to bed.
What?
Is it repeating you want?
I need to think about my writing.
His bloody old writing. Can't you do that later?
You are very young, my child, he said, And let me implore of you to give up that sin. It is a terrible sin.
What in God's name?
Shh! You're interrupting my train of thought. It kills the body and the soul.
I'm wearing a new pair of black silk drawers.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Well...
Only waiting to be admired.
But if we were to conceive...
Do you not want to do it over worrying about a child? If you do, you may as well give up on life entirely.
Aunt Josephine's letter.
I knew.
If you can remember that you count your monthly courses so that you may not do the same again.
Regular bulletins on Trieste supplied by both brothers.
Dear Nora, Stanislaus tells me James is drinking heavily. Sure, God love him. And isn't drink in man's nature? And he with so much going on. What with writing and supporting little Giorgio. And all that thinking goes into being a teacher of English. He is a man with a bachelor's degree from the National University of Ireland. Do make sure the boys drink a lot of milk. No milk can match that we have at home. God knows, but isn't woman's work never complete?
Cassandra, what she is. You're thinking how I know that now? Mrs. Reardon, yes? Proprietress of Finn's Hotel where I cleaned. Saying it to us whenever we said anything was hard doing in her mangy hotel. God, you're the proper Cassandra.
How many minutes do you fry the onions, Nora?
Stanny?
I'm after watching you and think it's something I might help with.
You needn't.
Just as well for a man to learn these things as he might never know when he'll need them.
But I'll be fine.
And there's little Giorgio for you to be taken care of. So it must be a blessing to you as well, given all you've to do round the house.
In that case, you can wash the prawns.
Gamberi.
How did you know that?
I got myself a cookery book in Italian.
What's this, Nora?
A risotto, Jim.
It's not something you normally prepare.
I didn't... Or the most, anyhow. Stanny's risotto de mare.
Nora helped me along.
Are you ill?
Why would I be ill?
Didn't you have the time? Is that it?
It's something I wanted to do.
Again?
I think it high time I learned to cook for myself.
But are you thinking of leaving us?
Italian food, come to that, as this is where we're living.
Begob. Begob almighty. I took the trouble of informing the office your salary is paid to me.
You did what?
That way I can manage the rent better.
You never asked me. I might like to buy... for personal...
Risotto. Ha! Let's have a taste. Not bad. Bit more salt, maybe. He says he likes doing it.
That's what he says.
But how can he?
He hasn't a woman's natural patience for that kind of thing.
Helping out, maybe. But buying a book? Motivation, conscious or not.
It all culminated at Paolo's. See, would I be using culminated in Finn's Hotel? Culminated, how are you? The old faggot of a manageress, Mrs. Reardon would have said.
The boy himself.
Stanislaus. Un bicchiere di vino?
Nora asks if you've the rent.
Have a drink, Yara, go on. Rest those hunkers.
We take care of dog.
The landlady's been around and threatening us with eviction. What's funny?
Eviction, not in Trieste. Credit, dear Stanislaus, lifeblood of Italian commerce, Austrian commerce, or dare I say, any commerce.
I need the money, our money. I must insist.
Insist?
You took our combined wages without asking me.
Begob, doesn't he take life seriously?
Si, la dolce vita, Stani.
I insist.
Insists he does.
I do.
If you insist, here you are.
Only 6 crowns here. We owe more.
Hand the crone the 6 crowns and tell her to sing for the rest. Crone, crown, croner, crowner. Sing, sang, sung for the rest. Where are you going?
Nora's expecting me.
For what? To do cooking? Signor Prezioso, meet the man who dons the apron strings in our house.
Cooking?
Risotto de mare. Would an Italian man do it? acquaint himself with the subtleties and solemnities of the cucina, as my abstemious brother seems ever so willing to do.
This what do Irishmen, help in kitchen. Is joke?
Some do, Signor Prezioso, though the first I've heard of it. But Nora is not Stanny's wife.
The landlady's waiting at the house.
Let her wait. Good to let women wait. That's what Stanny needs to learn.
For Nora?
What for Nora? Since when should you be concerned? Do you have designs on my woman?
Are you serious?
Brothers do not make this.
Don't mind if it's not family, but after all, is it not Cain bears the mark of deceit? You wish to sleep with my wife.
She's not your wife in any case, much as I've told you to marry.
You're not going to, you hear?
James, Irish women do not make this.
You don't know modern Irish women, Signor Prezioso. Devious, the lot of them. Neither say what they mean, nor mean what they say.
How can you say such a thing about Nora? I'm leaving.
What are you doing here anyway? That's right, here in Trieste.
I was under the impression you believed I was helping you. You even once said amuse.
Amuse? That takes the biscuit. Solitary, unique, and if I may say so, recherche biscuit. You'll never sleep with my wife. Never.
What do you mean by showing me up like that?
Stanny.
Explain yourself, and explain yourself well.
Confrontation. Good. My writing.
That's all an other self is to you, is it?
What? Stanny!
He thinks some of us have no feelings.
Let go.
Filthy mouth out of him, and after all we do.
He can't help it.
Stop drinking. No harder than that.
Some men are that way, yes?
He'll never change with those excuses for him. Never.
It just is. Nothing you can do.
In that case, I'm leaving.
He needs you here. His writing.
He doesn't need me. He wants nothing but himself.
He does. You can't go. I need you.
Stanny. Other self. My muse.
Are you okay, Jim? Jim, are you all right?
I'm sorry it's come to this. Sorry, Nora.
Now, wouldn't you think the day after Jim'd say something to his brother? The writer about to expose the world in all its imperfections.
Did you manage to give the landlady the 6 crowns, Stanny? And was she satisfied? She was?
Not particularly.
If you've a contented landlady, it must be you're doing something wrong, so you must.
Pay her on time, yes, and then we wouldn't have her coming around and worrying us in our home.
It is now a month since dear Henry fled to his home up above in the sky, while his family weeps and mourns his loss, hoping some day to meet him on high.
Lord save us. Are you listening to me?
There's to be retrenchment in the job.
Huh?
It means a reduction in the hours.
I know what it bloody means, but what's its meaning?
Room as a result for only one of us.
It's your job. You found it.
You take it.
Now, hold on.
You have Nora and, of course, little Giorgio.
And now you'll have Roberto Prezioso.
You must take it. You need the money.
We're moving to Rome.
What?
Rome's a metropolis, not a backwater like Trieste. In Rome, I can complete my novel.
But you need Stanny for aiding and abetting. Other self-like.
A muse.
A muse is a woman.
I've applied for work in the Eternal City, in a bank.
Without telling me. How long have you known this?
Aunt Josephine agrees with me.
Consult the oracle.
Dear Nora, a stay in Rome is just what James needs. He's a city boy by nature, and perhaps the bank is better suited to a man with a bachelor's degree from the National University of Ireland. Hard it is on Stanislaus to be separated, but there's benefits from not living in such a small space with the two of you and Giorgio. How's the dose? I hope you're well yourself. Take my advice and sleep face to foot. Always best to plan against temptation.
Welcome, O life. I go to encounter for the millionth time the reality of experience, and to forge in the smithy of my soul the uncreated conscience of my race.
Jim. Your dinner time's almost up.
Nora, I've got it.
You've got to go back to the bank, Jim.
The vision behind my new novel, I see it all.
You do? That's great, yes.
Who does he think he's whistling at? Scusa, e mia moglie?
We owe money for to the landlady and Giorgio here.
I'll have to give private lessons.
No, I won't hear of it. Your book. How can you get it done?
No two ways about the matter. Selective private lessons. Thousands in this city want English.
He knows how to select the signorinas, yes.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Here's the poets expressing. Hello, Nora, I didn't see you come in.
The landlady says we still owe her money.
When one door shuts tight, another's sure to open. Nora, what are you doing?
I'm doing the washing, Jim.
Who's washing?
The Greenies down the road.
But you can't. You weren't meant for this.
Nothing grand in where I was born, Jim.
I forbid it. No woman of mine shall be reliant on such work. Let me mention it to Stanny when I send him writing. I wouldn't be troubling you only for the book. And of course, little Giorgio.
All I can afford is 10 crowns. I'm still paying off outstanding rent, plus a bill at the baker's and tailor's.
Good old Stanny.
But don't you... Is it right?
Right? What right?
Taking his... Might not Stanny have ambitions of his own?
Stanny aids and abets me.
Enclosed is 15 crowns towards a pram for Giorgio.
Oh, Jim, can we keep on doing this?
The other self's a man you implicitly trust.
The ability to squeeze copper from a stone. I was warned it's the mark of a true Dubliner.
I won't have my city maligned. Not by one who hails from the bogs of Galway.
Where ones are at least plain speaking.
There's no other way they can speak.
And people is not ashamed to do an honest day's work.
I rescued you.
You did what?
What would you be had you remained with Reardon at Finn's?
I had my own money. A room to share. I wanted for nothing.
What's the future in that? No more than a...
What? No more than a what?
Nothing.
You started, now go on.
Reardon. I like the name. Mrs. Reardon spends her money getting masses said. She's got a dog, and the dog has a mind to getting up under petticoats.
No more than a skivvy. Say it.
I won't say it.
And you're ashamed of me? A working girl? Say it.
I know what you've done for me.
I have too, yes. I've given so much for you. And don't you think you can get around me so easily?
I know I neglect you, Nora. But I must get my writing published. About a young man struggling to be an artist. Something I must tell.
Doesn't everyone know what's in books is not true?
Not that truth. Artistic truth. One thought leads to another, a result of deeply subjective experience.
We go from one thing to the next.
Exactly. You have it, Nora. Reality is not on the exterior.
But will anyone want to read it if it's subjective, like? He's also gone kind of odd on the exterior. The bank, maybe?
Nora.
Yes, Jim?
Would you not call me Jim in public?
Why so?
I'd prefer if you addressed me as James.
For the attention of Mr. James Joyce.
From Dublin.
Well?
Jim? The publication has again been delayed.
Of the Dubliners? Jim?
It's not the Dubliners, it's Dubliners.
Oh. Surely a "the" doesn't make no difference.
You don't understand anything, do you?
Well, I've not your education, like.
It's never going to be accepted. Or another, I'm only fooling myself. Just one deluded dreamer. One deluded Dublin dreamer.
What are you doing?
So these papers may as well be tossed in the flames.
Jim, don't. You can't. Stop, Jim. I saved them. Look, I saved them, Jim.
I didn't know what I was doing.
So what if they can't see how good Dubliners is? They'll take this one, and the next, and the one after that.
They will, Nora, they will. Nora. Please, Nora, come on now.
Are we always to be as poor as street rats?
You say yourself, it's only time before my work is accepted.
I know I mustn't be like this, but I want to be back to Ireland. I want to be among my own people.
Let me get my coat and we'll go for a walk.
You've got to work. Selective private lessons.
Hang it. Hang it all. When do we last have a good spend round the shops?
No, you can't. Our position, it'll only make it worse.
What's the point of living if I can't treat my one and true girl now and again? Tell me that.
He bought me a hat. And we had a grand day eating gelati by the Colosseum. And he made me feel grand all day, yes. And we'd a grand time that night. But so much for the face to foot.
It's true, Jim.
You mean?
You're happy, aren't you?
To be sure I'm happy.
You can be. It won't affect your writing.
Let's leave Rome. Go to, I don't know. Plenty of employment in, I don't know, and there I can do my writing better. First I must write to Aunt Josephine.
Dear Nora, wasn't I only delighted? To think at your young age you'll have two of them. I hope Georgia won't get jealous. I wrote to Stanislaus immediately I heard, and know he'll take it like me. James says sometimes he's feeling a hard chill, and I'm sending a scarf. No finer wool than that found at home.
Where did we go in the end? Not guessed?
James, Nora, and little Giorgio. But Rome?
My muse, I have missed you.
A muse is not a man.
Do you think you might see your way towards the lend of 2 crowns? Re-establish old contacts, you know?
For drink, you want it?
Give it to him. So that night I was waiting as usual.
Nora! Nora! Stanny!
For the love of God.
No, I've only had the one. I'm not feeling well.
What is it?
This pain. I think I'm dying.
You've a pain. I've a baby due any day.
Before I finish my book, I'll never finish my book.
It's serious.
Get me to hospital. There's more than 200 pages in the back room. The publisher, send them to him.
Rheumatic fever, the doctors say.
They do.
I thought you only got it as a result of overcrowded and unhygienic conditions. What will Aunt Josephine make of it?
The only one I know of with rheumatic fever was a Mary O'Connor, and she from a cottage, and her father no better than a day labourer. To think a Joyce and a university man could go down with such disease is all more astonishing. What is it, the hygiene in that part of the world at all?
Stanny.
You've been a tidy woman, Nora. No reflection on you.
Stanny, it's starting.
What's starting?
My contractions.
You mean... Let me call Mrs. Franzini. No, she's out. I saw her go.
Stanny, I need to get to hospital.
Wait. Who else can...
Just what I can't do. Wait. Get me to hospital. She's beautiful.
She is.
Oh, Stanny.
We'll get through this. Jim as well. Have no fear.
La sua bambina, signore?
The nurse thinks she's yours.
No, not my baby. The father's not here.
18, 19, 20.
Grazie mille.
I'm not sure Jim would like this, Nora.
Like what?
Charity, it is, in all but name.
The Austrian government's offering 20 crowns to all those given birth. You want me to refuse?
20 crowns only given to paupers. There's stigma attached.
Then let Jim put food on the table, for there's now an extra mouth to feed.
The end of confrontation for me, Stanny.
I'm sure, Jim.
Nothing like a spell laid low on your back to get you thinking of priorities. What I must now do is finish that writing, or who knows if I'll ever be able to complete it.
And your 2 children.
Our 2 children, little Giorgio. And Lucia. Lucia for light. First, I'll see Roberto Prezioso. Man was kind enough to visit me in hospital. Can you, in all earnestness, see your way towards 2 crowns from that baby money? Nora.
These crowns were a present. The Austrian government gave them me.
Good for the Austrian government.
You don't mind? Handed out only to the poorest of the poor.
The Joyces have never accepted charity, but what the hell?
When are you going to grow up? When?
Stanley, he's just out of hospital.
My last...
Not your last. You're lying.
No, my last words. I can't write anymore.
What did you say?
Blocked. I'm blocked.
You won't finish the book?
I respect you, Nora. You, Stanley. No more confrontation.
But you must finish it. We're all relying on you.
I'll get a regular job. Give private lessons. I'll bring home the dinner for my 2 children.
We're out of onions and peppers.
Nora.
And more besides. I'll have to go up to the market.
Nora, I have something to say to you.
Some other things you want to buy?
I've been thinking. I want us to go away together.
But we're just back.
Not that away.
What away?
The 2 of us together. 4 of us. You, me, Giorgio and baby Lucia. I'm sure that's what little Giorgio would want. And baby Lucia.
But what about Jim?
He'll never learn if we don't do this.
You mean you? Me?
It might make him come to his senses. He may then finish his writing.
I can't do that.
If he doesn't finish his writing, then his life is in vain. Not only his life, but for us all. He's now reduced to drinking charity money.
Look, I'm in a hurry, yes? We'll talk about this another time.
Not if I can bloody help it.
Nora, you buy the food. Anche io. I make cooking in mia casa.
Signore Prezioso.
Roberto. In Italia, we do not stand up in ceremony. Ecco.
A cigar?
Modern women, they smoke cigar. I like modern women.
I can't.
No? Benissimo. It is from Cuba?
My husband.
But you are not married.
James, he wouldn't like it.
No, he no mind. James is my friend.
I don't accept gifts from men other than James. There are people watching who know the both of you.
You are joking. I know Irish women.
How do you mean?
Irish women, they do not say what they mean, or they mean what they say.
Signore Prezioso, I'm a mother of 2 children.
I look after babies. I am good, like Irishmen. Why you think James he not marry you?
What? None of your business.
You want to marry James, Vero?
We're seeing strides on how families are constituted.
James, he say love is for share. Like Boccaccio, love is delicacy.
Jim's going to be a renowned writer, and I'll be there to help him.
I am editor of Piccolo della Sera. James, teacher of English, and no more. Come, Nora. James do not mind. If he mind, he marry you.
I have to go.
I have money. I pay rent. Nora!
A cigar. He's a prudent member and no mistake. You didn't lead him on now.
Me?
Otherwise, why would he do it? There must have been temptation.
What are you saying?
You didn't. You're telling me.
Not so much as a friendly nod did I give him. And if you think the mother of your 2 children a liar...
Because it'll be embarrassing for me otherwise.
Spare the thought. Any possible embarrassment to you must surely come above all else.
I'll go round and have it out with him.
Jim, be careful.
Cigars. Desire for sexual gratification. He'll know soon enough not to tangle with my wife.
Think of the money situation.
By God, he'll know.
Prepositions, Signore Prezioso. I went to buy, not I went for buy.
You understand, you know?
Yes, but one's right and the other's wrong.
Why?
It is... There are rules.
Ha! Rules? Who make the rules on English? Oh, here comes
Everybody must know the rules.
How dare you try to seduce my wife?
James?
Don't come the innocent with me. Did you or did you not offer a cigar to Nora?
Joking. James always pull on my leg.
My wife, who has only recently given birth to our 2nd child.
She is not your wife.
Jim, calm down.
When Lothario here's been fresh with the mother of my 2 children.
James, you say you do not mind. When it is not brother, you do not mind. Have wine, James. James, vino. Signore, una altra carafa.
That's what you can do with your wine.
James, I am sorry. I do not mean.
Jim, it's a mistake now. Sorry, Signore Prezioso.
Sorry, James, sorry. You give me wrong-ended stick. I go.
If I were Austria, I'd never let you lot free. No money.
Yes.
No job.
True.
2 children. You and I to crowd into Stanny's tiny flat.
And our most influential friend in Trieste publicly insulted.
It'll get better.
Could it get worse?
Another teaching job, maybe.
Is there any use in the both of us being in the dumps?
Or maybe a bank again.
Maybe.
I'm amazed you're so relaxed about it all.
What other way would I be, Jim?
Sometimes I can't fathom women out.
Not when you don't listen in on what she's thinking, anyway.
You want more, but when it's not there. Nora, wouldn't you have been happier had I never removed you from Finn's hotel?
Do you think?
Regular employment you had, and a guaranteed place of abode.
I was a skivvy, Jim.
All you've suffered on my account, and you're still with me. And how you've faith in me, and what life you might have had you met a man with a steady job, who'd have taken well care of you and made your days better. I'll have a woman such as you in one of my books.
Books again?
No, don't be like that. I'll base my story on the day we first met. Have her marry a man who survives on his wits' end. An odyssey. I wonder how Penelope's husband Odysseus will react to the attentions of another suitor.
Am I an experiment? Something to do with artistic truth? You know, it's not right what you done to Roberto Prezioso.
Me do to him, that serpent.
You wanted him to court me, in order that you could work out what you would do. Don't say you didn't.
I'll admit no such thing.
Not saying straight out, but unconscious like.
Nora, how do you even know about?
Don't you think I haven't the words to match you, yes, Jim Joyce?
And first I put my arms around him, yes, and drew him down to me so he could feel my breasts all perfume, yes. And his heart was going like mad. And yes, I said yes, I will. Yes.
He's blocked no more anyhow.
Do you know something?
What, Jim?
I'm kind of, well, lost for vocabulary. I like you more than I like anyone else alive. If that's love, then...
Oh, Jim.
Not saying it is, but I have a feeling. Strong feeling. You're the only woman for me.
Not even the women you write about in books?
They're not real, Nora, you know that.
Do I? Come here.
Not sure if we should. We're Stanny to come in, you know.
I've read Jim's finished novel.
You finished it? But when?
I didn't want to tell you. Give you false hopes.
And is it any good? Let's have a read. And I read it. Stephen Dedalus, is that you?
Well, partly. Writing must be partly autobiographical.
A lot of big words in that. Not always easy to follow.
Too difficult.
It's grand.
Yes, you do like it.
A masterpiece, Jim. An artist as a young man.
And my woman in the new book will be big of heart and able to see what's good about life and...
He wants me to say something here. Am I your muse, maybe? No. A muse is it I am. More cod than that.
I'll keep that one to myself.
You're my other self, Nora.
I am?
You are.
Fine so.
You're not happy?
Not sure if the job of other self is all it's made out to be. Bit of a come down also from a muse.
I'm delighted.
Yes?
I said yes. Yes.
Come on!
Company! Attention!
Thank you, Lieutenant Cather. Men of the 36th Ulster Division, it is with enormous pride that I find myself before you this day, having just received our orders. As we wait in this marshy valley of the River Ancra, at 07:28 hours this morning, a mine will explode beneath the German line, and our assault will commence immediately. The 32nd Division, including the Grimsby Chums, will be on our right flank and will take the fortress village of Thiepval. While on our left flank, the 29th Division, including the Newfoundlanders, will aid us as we cross the ridge and take the German second line at Grandcourt. Between us and our goal, we will encounter the German front line and the intermediate line, including the Schwaben redoubt. It is imperative that we nullify the machine gunners if we are to achieve our objectives this morning.
No surrender! No surrender!
Men, today being the first day of July and the anniversary of the Battle of the Boyne, you may seek inspiration from the past if needed. We have our orders, and I will lead you into battle today wearing the orange sash given to me by my father when I joined the Ulster Volunteers last year. On that day, he told me not to disgrace it, or the good people of Ulster, but to wear it always with pride. And with his words ringing in my ears, I will leave this trench and advance as quickly as I can to attack the enemy and take out those machine gunners. I ask you, before God, to follow me. For all the brave Ulstermen who have already given up their lives fighting this terrible foe. Follow me for Ulster. Follow me for the King, for the Empire, and for God Almighty, who shall surely protect his sons this day.
Amen.
No surrender! No surrender! No surrender!
Listen, men! You can all put your sashes on if you wish. And for those of you who don't have sashes, you can get some orange ribbon from Private Quigg.
Only fill the bottle near the top with petrol soda.
Have you got a hanky, Dinger?
You don't need a hanky. Just tear a bit off this sheet and stick it in the bottleneck. Make sure it's touching the petrol and tucking in properly, or it'll fall out of the bottle once you throw it.
I know that, Dinger, but I wanted to hide my face with a hanky.
Where's your balaclava?
I don't have a balaclava. Have you got a hanky or not?
No, I don't. I don't carry a wee hanky around tucked up my sleeve in case I get a runny nose.
My ma doesn't make me do that anymore.
Just put your hood up and wrap your scarf around the bottom of your face. Nobody will be able to recognise you.
Is that what you're going to do?
No. I have a balaclava. Right. One light the first two. Let's go.
I don't have a lighter.
What?
Remember them young girls came up and asked us for a light? One of them had really big tits and was all like, "Here, big lad, have you got a lighter?" Remember her?
Yes, I remember them.
She's got the lighter.
Well, go back and get it for fuck's sake, Soda.
Can we not just ask somebody for the end of a lighter?
You want me to run out there with a petrol bomb in my hand and ask somebody to light it for me?
Somebody out there's bound to have a lighter.
There's millions of peelers out there. There's also fucking TV cameras and everything out there.
Doesn't your granny live in one of them wee pensioners' bungalows? We could ask her for a light, and we could use the toilet at the same time, because I'm really busting.
The police are protecting them, you idiot.
Why do they need protected? Sure, they're on our side.
Not all of them.
Why? What ones aren't on our side?
The ones with the trade colours flying from the windies.
What? I never saw it. Oh, I see what you did.
Right, come on. She lives round the corner here, number 9.
Tensions are growing in Belfast tonight as the standoff over a contentious Orange Order parade enters its second night. Many local residents fear riots may start if a resolution isn't found.
Granny!
What?
It's only me!
What?
It's Eric!
Oh, hold your horses, I'm coming.
Can we use your toilet, Mrs. Bell?
You know what time it is?
Sorry, Granny. My friend has a very weak bladder. You remember Soda, don't you?
How could anybody forget him? Come on in. The toilet is in there.
Thanks.
Close the door! Muppet!
Oh, I'm peeing!
Does your mother know where you are at this time of the night?
I know. She's not speaking to me at the minute.
Look, come on into the living room and wait on your wee friend.
Thanks. As soon as he's done, we'll be out of your hair.
Why does your mother feel out for you?
She doesn't like me protesting.
She should know better. You come from a very long line of young men who ignore their mothers. Do you know who that is on the wall?
The old black and white photograph?
That's my grandmother's uncle.
So he would be my great-great-great-grandmother's...
Ah, don't hurt your brain, son. He fought in World War I against the wishes of his own mother.
That's me. Thanks, missus. Did you ask her for a light?
No.
I don't allow smoking in my house.
Who said it was for smoking?
Will you shut up for 2 seconds? I just found out one of my relatives was in the army.
He was a captain.
Handsome man, Mrs. Bell. Was he your husband?
How old do you think I am, son?
You're an idiot.
We have to get going here, Dinger.
He was awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery. That's the most prestigious medal you can get for an act of bravery in face of the enemy.
That's amazing.
Seriously, Dinger, we have to go.
I better get him out of here for you. Sure, we've annoyed you enough for one night.
Look, you don't have to go back out there, you know.
If we don't get back out there, people will think we're chickens.
If I come back tomorrow, you tell me some more.
I like cream buns with tea.
We still didn't get a fucking light. Ow!
Don't swear in my granny's house.
There's a lighter in the kitchen on top of the cooker.
I'll get it.
Have the police been here?
No. Why?
To protect you?
What? Why would we need protection?
In case the tigs start ratting, you know what they're like.
Right, that's us. Don't worry, Granny. Any trouble starts, we make sure nobody gets near your wee bungalow.
That's nice, love.
See you later.
Thanks, missus.
Pull yourself together! We have done the impossible. We've taken this trench from the Germans. We made it despite the fact that the very men who asked us to do it believed they were sending us to our deaths.
I believed it.
Are we dead yet? No, we are not. We took out the machine gun.
You did. We crawled on our bellies. At one point, I froze in the muck, and I pulled a dead man's body into my side, and
That's enough, Lieutenant! These young men, look at them. These young, innocent, brave men are counting on us. I'm counting on you to set an example for them.
You stood up in the middle of bloody no man's land. You stood up and shot that bloody bastard dead. Bloody German bastard who was happily mowing down dozens of our men. You stood up and shot him in the face. I watched you, God help me, curled up, hiding behind dead men's corpses. I watched you trembling in my own fear.
I did it because it had to be done.
You could have been killed. You should have been killed. I saw you, Eric, stand there and take aim for what seemed like an eternity. I'm sorry, Eric. I mean, Captain.
It was a second. In reality, Lieutenant. A second, that's all it was. I couldn't afford to miss. Had I done, we would probably all be dead.
He would have shot you and then just went on shooting all of us until we were none.
Please, Geoffrey. Get yourself together. You are one of the bravest men I have ever met.
How can you say that after what I've just admitted to
I can say it because I believe it to be true. I have seen you do extraordinary things, Geoffrey.
You have not.
Why did the General promote you?
I'm slightly older than the others.
Nonsense! He saw in you what I saw. What I've always known to be true. You are a man who has incredible wells of courage. You crawled on your belly beside me. You cut through barbed wire while bullets shot by you. And you helped me lead all the men who survived here. Dip into those wells of courage now, my friend. And help me convince these young men that we did not come all this way to die.
I can't do it. I can't go back out there. And I certainly cannot ask anyone else to do it.
Your woman Joanne's a real headbanger, isn't she, Dinger?
There's nothing wrong with her.
There's a whole bunch of stuff wrong with her, actually.
Like what? She turned you down when you asked her out.
I never asked her out. Who said I did? Did she say I did? Because if she said that, then she's a liar. And that's another thing that's wrong with her.
Give her a rest, will ye?
Here's a true big Warren asked you to join the Euphors.
What's the matter to you?
It matters a great deal, actually, to me. Like, if you're in, am I in? You know? Do you get to pick who comes in with you or what?
Dinger, wait for me.
For fuck's sake, that's all we need. Do you want me to get rid of her?
No. I want you to head on. I'll see you tomorrow.
What?
Fucking hell is ridiculous, so it is.
You should stop smoking, wee girl.
Yeah, and after that, you should just fuck off.
Soda, I told you to head on.
I don't fucking believe it.
Don't make a thing out of it.
What happened to bros over hoes?
It got replaced with slags over fags.
You just call yourself a slag?
If he wasn't here, I would slap the fuck out of you, wee girl.
Soda!
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Dinger. I'll call around about 3 as soon as I'm up.
I don't know how you put up with him. He holds you back, you know.
Do you run all the way up that hill to talk about Soda?
No, I'm just saying. I hear my daddy and my uncles talking all the time.
I'm sure they'll be glad to know you're listening.
I hear them talking about you.
Oh, yeah? What way they talk about me?
Do you want to come into my house for a cup of tea and I'll tell you everything I know?
This time of night? Do you not think I would make your daddy and your uncles talk about me in a very bad way?
They really like you. So I think they'd be really happy if you came in for a cup of tea. They've never liked anybody I brought home before.
Bring a lot of men home, do you?
Boys. I've only ever brought a couple of boys home.
Maybe some other time.
Do you want to go somewhere else?
There is nowhere to go at this time of night.
Well, do you want to go somewhere, you know, with me?
Look, Joanne, I like you, all right? I don't like the way you're always fighting with Soda, but I do like you. You're a good-looking girl.
Woman.
You're a good-looking woman. And yes, I would like to go somewhere with you. Not now, but sometime.
When?
A normal time. Like a Friday night or something like that.
This Friday?
If I say yes, this Friday, will you leave me alone?
Where do you want to go this Friday?
A club.
But I always go there.
I'll be handy for you then.
Well, what about going somewhere else, like?
Look, I'm going to a club on Friday night. Do you want to go with me?
With you.
With me?
Are you going to call for me and all, like?
Sure, I'll just see you in there.
Where are you going now?
I live here.
Are you just going to go and leave me here?
My mum and dad are in bed. I don't want to wake them.
Well, what about a kiss goodbye?
Good night.
My uncles and my daddy think you're going to go far. They think you're a leader. They asked you to join tonight, didn't they?
Keep your voice down.
I knew it. I wrote a song for you. Do you want to hear it?
Maybe on Friday.
It's like a rap. I can whisper it so I don't wake anybody up.
If I listen to it, will you go straight home?
Mm-hmm. I know a lad who makes me glad to be a girl from the Shankill. He's tall and brave, knows how to behave when he's with a girl from the Shankill. His shoulders are wide and his eyes are blue. I want him by my side and you would too if you knew this lad and what he was gonna do. My dinger's heart beats true blue. My dinger's heart beats true blue. My dinger's heart beats true blue.
Far ahead where the blue shadows fall, I shall come to contentment and rest, and the toils of the day we'll be all charmed away in my little grey home in the west.
Captain, there's news.
What is it?
We're the only ones to make it this far.
Where is everyone else?
Defeated, retreating, or dead.
Give me the specifics, Jeffrey.
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. After the Lochnagar mine detonated 2 minutes before 0 hour, the Grimm's beach hums rushed to occupy the crater, but were stranded there and came under fire from both German and British guns, sir. They have 502 men dead. Only one officer made it to the German trenches. Second Lieutenant Hendon, sir. He has 5 men with him.
What of the 29th and the Newfoundlanders?
They suffered a similar fate, sir. Of the 801 men who began the assault today, only 68 have been accounted for, sir.
Reinforcements will come.
Sir, we have no flanking divisions. We're being attacked from the German front up ahead and here on both sides.
Then we can't stay here, can we?
No, we certainly can't. Shall I prepare the men to retreat, sir?
No. We're going to have to attack the German second line.
Are you mad?
We go, or we die here.
Give the order to retreat, sir!
No. Billy!
Yes, sir.
Why have you stopped singing, son?
There are hands that will welcome me in. There are lips I am burning to kiss.
There are 2 eyes that shine just because they are mine, and 1,000 things other men miss. It's a corner of heaven itself, though it's only a tumble down nest, and with love brooding there, why no place can compare with my little grey home in the west.
Did you only bring 2 cream buns, Eric? Are you on a diet?
No. Why, did you want more?
Ah, heavens no. 2's my limit, but I thought you might have wanted one.
You always like this?
I don't get many visitors. When you get to my age, the world tends to forget you.
Well, I brought the buns, so spill the beans on my great... The man in the old black and white photograph.
And where would you like me to start?
Near the beginning would be nice. I hate stories that jump around.
Are you always like this?
Sorry,
You're named after him, you know.
I did not know that.
In 1913, Eric Bell joined the Ulster Volunteers to protest against Home Rule. Back then, Ireland belonged to the United Kingdom, you see. All of Ireland did.
You say Ulster Volunteers. You're talking about the UVA.
They had over 100,000 members back then, and Eric was involved in things like gun running, that's bringing guns into Ulster, believe it or not, from Germany, of all places.
Did they not have their own guns or what?
And in April 1914, your namesake was part of a group of men who smuggled 25,000 rifles into Ulster. It was a show of force and it worked. But what most people don't know is that later that year, World War I broke out and most of the Ulster volunteers enlisted in the army to go and fight the Germans. Eric was one of them.
So they left Ulster undefended?
They had a deal with the government that not just Ulster, but the whole of Ireland would remain part of the United Kingdom while they were away.
How do you know all this?
I learned to read at school. But here's the thing. Eric volunteered to go to war. He wasn't in the army at the time when war broke out. He wasn't a professional soldier. He didn't have any training, but that didn't stop him from winning the Victoria Cross.
Why has nobody ever told me this before?
Maybe your parents don't want you to follow in his footsteps. Or maybe they don't just believe he's really related to us. Who knows? But the thing is, Eric Bell didn't just risk his life in the war. He risked his bloodline because he wasn't married and he didn't have children.
What's this?
Oh, here. That's a wee clipping my granny gave me and I kept it all these years.
For most conspicuous bravery. Eric Bell was in command of a trench mortar battery and advanced with the infantry in the attack. When our front line was hung up by
enfilading machine gun fire.
Sorry. Captain Bell crept forward and shot the machine gunner. Later, on no less than 3 occasions, when our bombing parties, which were clearing the enemy's trenches, were unable to advance, he went forward alone and threw trench mortar bombs among the enemy.
Oh, keep reading.
When he had no more bombs available, he stood on the parapet under intense fire and used a rifle with great coolness and effect on the enemy advancing to counterattack. That's incredible. He sounds awesome.
Finish it.
Finally, he was killed. Oh shit, sorry.
Oh, keep reading, it's important.
He was killed rallying and reorganising infantry parties which had lost their officers. All this was outside the scope of his normal duties with his battery. He gave his life in his supreme devotion to duty. Can I come back again tomorrow?
Bring more buns.
This is me. Leave a message at the beat unless you're looking for money, in which case you can just fuck off.
Soda, get you up out of your bed, you lazy fucker, you. Get your dad's car and meet me outside the garage in an hour's time. You're gonna be late, you sleep in, and don't bother fucking turning up at all, or any other time.
Dinger, what are you doing up so early?
Somewhere I need to be. I'm gonna get a quick sandwich in here and eat it on the way. You any figs?
Yeah. Do you want me to get you 20 in case you run out?
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. Here, smoke one now and I'll go and get you your sandwich. What kind do you want?
Cheapest one.
Forget about that. I'll get you the best one.
Hello? Dinger, is that you? What time is it?
It's early, but I need you to do me a favour, mate.
No problem. What is it?
I just left you a message. I need you to get up and get your dad's car for the day.
Going somewhere, are we?
I've got a meeting, and then after it, I'll probably need a lift. So we're outside the garage in about an hour.
How long will it be?
As long as it takes.
Okay, no problem. Hey, what if I can't get my dad's car?
Just fucking do it, Soda.
Okay.
One more thing. If Joanne turns up, let her wait with you.
What the fuck?
And be nice.
Captain, I've done a head count, and we are missing a lot of men. I would like permission to organise a search party for survivors or wounded.
The men are tired and hungry. I need them fed and rested before we begin the advance.
Then I need permission to go alone.
I can't give that permission.
With respect, sir, I have followed you this far, without question. But my best friend is out there.
He's probably dead, Jeffrey.
If he is dead, then I'll find him, say a prayer for him, and come back and help you advance. But if he isn't, I need to know.
I can't let you go.
Sir, you asked me to convince these young men to advance with you, and I did it. Allow me to show them I meant what I said, and I can do it myself.
Slow down, Soda! You nearly hit that woman!
Relax. I know what I'm doing.
You might know what you're doing, but nobody else does.
If I'm scaring you, wee girl, you've only to say so.
You're not scaring me. I just want you to stop the car. Stop the car! For 1 minute, I want to talk to you.
Okay, you bore.
Listen to me, Soda. Today is a really big deal for Dinger.
I know that.
So, why don't we just call a truce with each other for his sake?
What are you talking about?
I know you don't like me, and I've never been your biggest fan, but look, what do you say we just cool it until some other time that's maybe not so important?
Well, if it's so important and you don't want to fuck it up for Dinger, then why are you here in the first place?
Dinger asked me to be here.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, it's true, so deal with it.
He's here now anyway, so don't be starting anything.
Open the door.
Will I jump in the back?
Obviously.
Or go home, or whatever.
How did it go, Dinger?
Brilliant. Jump in quick.
No kiss?
Well, what's happening, big lad?
I'm in. And already have my first job to do.
Do you really want to talk in front of other people, you know what I mean?
Who's starting now?
If you two are going to help me, you're going to have to learn to play nice with each other. Or I'll just have to get some other people instead.
Sorry?
What do you need us to do?
Can you drive this car?
I can drive any car.
No, you can't. No, she can't. This is my dad's car.
She's only going to drive it a wee bit, Soda, relax.
No way, Dinger.
Then I'll have to get somebody else. Do you know anyone else has a car, Joanne? Let you drive it?
Yes.
Okay. She can drive it a wee bit.
Good. We're sorted.
Do you want me to drive it now?
No, later.
Tell us what's happening, Dinger. My nerves are wrecked. Fuck the last party, you stinging bastard! Work all up your bangle, you sharp pricks!
Let's go, Suda.
Let me do one more. Let me do one more.
Can I get out of the car and do something?
I said let's go.
Fuck the Pope!
That was awesome!
You're awesome too, Soda! Look at that bird!
I am an anti-coaster. I am an anarcho-coaster. Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it.
While your hearts are yearning, though your lads are far away, they dream of home. There's a silver lining through the dark night. Turn the dark nights inside out till the boys come home.
This man needs immediate medical attention.
Private, send for the doctor.
I found 2 more men. They're badly wounded, and I managed to help them crawl and drag them as far as I could.
You should have come back for assistance, Lieutenant. How far away are they?
Not too far.
Ask for volunteers, show them where to go. I need you here for the time being.
Captain, we're surrounded on 3 sides, and nobody's coming to help us. The situation is hopeless.
Did you find your friend?
No, but I found these 3 wounded men, and I... Murder!
Take cover, man!
Are you okay, sir?
Yes. Make a place to one side for the injured. Get anybody with any medical experience to treat them.
But what about the wounded men in no man's land, sir?
I can't let you out there again.
I have to go, or this was all for naught.
Listen to me. I thought you weren't coming back. I imagined the worst had happened to you, my friend. I need you here.
You wanted me to dig into my wells of courage, and now you're asking me to what? Be afraid again? You asked me to advance. You asked me to lay down my life, but do not ask me to leave those men out there when I know I have a duty to go out there and try and save them.
I need 2 volunteers to go with Lieutenant Cather to rescue 2 wounded men left behind in no man's land. Do I hear an aye?
Aye.
I suggest when you find them, place them here with the other wounded. And you can stay behind with them. Where's the doctor?
What do you mean, stay behind?
Where is the doctor?
The doctor was killed, sir.
Son the advance! We need to press on!
Why don't you sit down, Mrs. Bell, and I'll make us a nice cup of tea?
I was just about to make my lunch, actually.
Oh, I'll make lunch. You go into the living room and make yourselves comfortable. Sandwiches okay for everybody?
There's cheese and ham in the fridge, dear.
Make loads, Joanne.
She seems lovely, Eric.
She is. Sometimes. I'm taking her out on Friday night.
Where to?
The club.
You should stay away from that place, love.
What's wrong with our club?
You should take a nice girl to a nice place.
I can't afford to take her anywhere nice.
Does your mother not give you any pocket money?
I'm not a kid.
Here, take this and take that young girl somewhere that's not a club.
I can't take your money, Granny.
Well, then you can earn it.
Hi.
I'll think of something.
Start on these sandwiches while I pour out the tea.
Oh, that's lovely.
Is that all you made?
Don't be cheeky.
You should take her dancing.
He can't dance.
He can learn.
I could teach him a few of the old soda moves.
Oh, these were the only mugs I could find.
There's one sitting here with me.
More sandwiches, Joanne.
Here, Mrs. Bell. Dinger says you tell great stories about the UVF.
Not the UVF, you nutbucket. The 36th Ulster Division and the Battle of Somme. Can I show her the picture?
Of course you can.
It's the same thing. My daddy and my uncles talk about them all the time. One of my uncles even writes wee speeches for demonstrations and things.
I love them speeches.
What kind of demonstrations?
Anything the UVF are involved in.
Do you want to hear a story about the Somme or not?
Well, before I tell you anything about the Somme, I would need to explain that first of all, it's not a story. It's the truth. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, the Ulster volunteers who fought against the Germans in a world war have nothing in common with the paramilitary rabble that terrorises their own communities these days.
What are you on about? They are the same.
Settle down, Soda.
Don't tell me to settle down, tell her.
I'm not her, I'm his granny.
Well then, Dinger, tell your granny that the UVF of today are the same as the one she's talking about.
And they don't terrorise their own community.
If only that was true, sweetheart.
Maybe we should go.
It is true. And me and your grandson have joined it. Haven't we, Dinger? Tell her.
That's enough. Let's go.
You can't let your granny say things like that, Dinger. What if she says this sort of thing to the wrong person?
Or the wrong person hears about it. That could fall back on us.
Or her.
I said let's go now. Let's go.
I don't know why you're mad at me. It was your granny who was saying all that stuff.
First of all, Joanne, the UVF is an illegal organisation.
So?
And secondly, Soda, it's a secret organisation. Who else have you told about me joining it?
Nobody.
I find that hard to believe.
Hold on a fucking minute here, Dinger. Everybody we know already knows you're in it, so who could we tell?
Look, you two, head on. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
I have to go back and make sure she's all right.
You're going back to take her side.
Head on. Head on.
We need to do something about his granny, you know.
I know. It'd be a terrible thing if something bad happened to her.
Would it? I mean, if he's taken her side, then maybe my dad and my uncle have picked the wrong man for the job.
And maybe you have too. Ever thought about that?
She's not right for you, Eric, love.
Really? 2 minutes ago, you gave me money to take her dancing, but now she's not right for me?
I thought she was nice. She made the tea and sandwiches, and she seems to like you enough. But that's what these people do.
What?
They con you. They can't help it. They put on an act to snare you, but they can only keep that act up for so long. If you want to know about romance, I have letters written from the front line during the battle, and these letters will break your heart. But they will also show you what real love is all about and what real sacrifice is.
You said the other day Captain Bell wasn't married.
I didn't say they were from him, did I?
Last chance to write to your sweethearts back home, man.
Can you write to your sweetheart? I thought it had to be your wife. I'm going to need another 10 minutes, sir.
Don't be dirty, you. You don't have 10 minutes.
How long do we have?
5.
Dearest Mother, please do not worry about me, as I have been promoted to captain and have taken charge of one of the finest groups of men any officer has ever had the privilege of leading. I'm sure it will only be a matter of weeks until I come home and see you all again. Give my kindest regards to little Jackie and Ben, and please tell Evelyn not to wait for me. I love you. Eric.
Dear Betty, I miss you with all my heart and can't wait to see you again. I should be home in a month. Please tell the little ones Daddy misses them terribly and can't wait to see them. God bless you and keep you, my love.
Dear Rose, I hope you're keeping in good spirit. I miss you dreadfully. Today was cold, but served to remind me how warm your heart is. I saw a great deal of sadness today, but it made me think of the joy I feel when I'm with you.
And these men who wrote these letters, they didn't come home, did they?
No.
Fuck.
Nearly 200,000 young British men lost their lives in the first month of the Battle of the Somme.
I can't even imagine that. I thought a lot of people died in Saving Private Ryan, but...
There were no movies back then to warn them young men of what they faced when they signed up.
They had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
No. But you can't say that today, can you?
I wouldn't join the army these days, I can tell you that.
But you've joined something else, haven't you?
It's not the same.
No, it isn't. I've thought of something you can do for me.
What?
Go home and make it up with your mother.
How am I supposed to do that? She finds fault in everything I do.
Tell her you've made a terrible mistake, and then go and tell whoever else you need to tell.
I can't do that.
You can. If you're half the man I think you are, you really can.
I'm in too deep. I've done things.
You have joined a secret organisation. But you don't know that a secret organisation started World War I by assassinating one person.
I thought it was because Hitler tried to take over the world.
That was World War II, Eric. What do they teach you in school these days?
Sorry, I didn't learn any of this in school. I just saw war movies.
Well, World War I was started when a secret organisation assassinated Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand's a Scottish rock singer.
Forget about that. Think about this. Why does a secret organisation exist?
I don't know.
Come on, son. They must be doing something wrong or illegal, or at least they must believe in something they know is wrong, or they wouldn't need to be secret, would they?
I have to go, Granny.
Are you coming back tomorrow?
I just wanted to hear some more stories.
I can tell you more tomorrow.
Look, I know you think the UVF are wrong or bad these days. Let me ask you something. Who else is doing anything for the Protestants of Ulster?
Plenty of people.
We're not allowed to march along roads. We've marched along for hundreds of years.
You've never marched anywhere, Eric.
It's not about me.
It is about you.
We're not allowed to fly the flag of our own country in our own country.
Has anybody ever stopped you flying your flag?
I'm not going to argue with you, Granny. Somebody has to do something before it gets worse.
How can it get worse? I'm trapped in my own wee bungalow every night.
You're not trapped.
I am. I'm petrified. I sit here every single night since these protests began and I wait praying that a bomb isn't going to blast through my window at any second.
That's never going to happen.
I lie in bed listening to young hooligans singing and yahooing at the top of their lungs way into the wee small hours. Sometimes it sounds like they're standing right outside my front door. Who is going to do anything for me, Eric?
This is for you. You just can't see it.
It's not, son. I don't want to put a flag up, and I don't think I would be able to march to the end of the street. This is just a nightmare for me and all my neighbours who are too afraid to say anything about it. In case that mob out there turns all their anger towards us, what happens then?
Stop saying things like that.
I'm sorry.
Nothing like that is ever going to happen. Sure, isn't there police outside your house protecting you?
Do you think that makes it okay then?
I have to go, Granny.
You're not coming back tomorrow, are you, Eric?
I might.
It's my turn to buy the buns.
Stop following me, Lieutenant. You need to rest. I can't let this madness continue, sir.
Are you intending to stop the war?
No, just one madman.
Get back to your post at once!
You think you're invincible, Eric, but you're not. You can't take on the entire German line single-handed.
I have no intentions of doing any such thing.
In the middle of the battle, you stood up. You gave away your position and you tossed a mortar into the German trench.
I made a decision.
The first time was an act of bravery. I will give you that. But the second, surely nothing more than insanity.
Given the opportunity, I would gladly do it a third time.
And that's precisely why I can't let you go out there again.
Don't push your luck, Lieutenant. Men! Prepare to attack on my word!
Eric?
You can stay and help the medical staff if you want, but I have men to lead.
Eric, please don't do this.
Hand me those mortars, Private.
Yes, sir.
Don't, Eric!
Are you ready to face hell with me again, son?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Move out, man! Let's show these bastards how the men of Ulster fight and die!
Bloody foot! Eric! 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 Eric!
Friendship on that day, hurrah, hurrah. Their choicest pleasures then display, hurrah, hurrah. And let each one perform some part to fill the joy the warrior's heart.
We'll all feel gay when
Jolly come marching home again, hurrah, hurrah.
Fill more bottles, Joanne, and push the hankies into the top of them.
Did you see that wee lad getting hit with a water cannon?
Aye, it was awesome.
I wish I'd got it on my phone. Somebody is going to get 1,000,000 hits if they got that right.
Soda!
What are you doing here?
You want to talk to you?
If it's about Friday, don't worry about it. I'm going to be seeing somebody else.
Congratulations. But it isn't about Friday.
Is it about that wee job we did? Because I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, but I saw it on the news.
Oh, it was brilliant on the news, listening to the takes gurning.
They weren't takes. The alliance.
Same fucking thing.
That's not what I wanted to talk to you about anyway.
We're not talking, Dinger. We're rioting.
Is it about your granny?
Can I tell you something, Dinger? You know, most people say she copied that photograph off the internet, and that soldier's got nothing to do with you.
He's got the same name as me.
My cousin's called Gusty Spence, but guess what? Not related to him at all. But here, don't worry about it, Dinger, mate. Most people think your granny's just a nutcase.
Watch what you fucking say next.
What? I was only gonna say, but she's harmless.
My dad said that as well. He said she was just a sad and lonely old woman with nothing better to do than make up stories.
What do you mean? Your dad said?
I told him what she said about the UVF and all.
Why did you do that?
'Cause
you shouldn't have done that.
She shouldn't have said those things then.
Well, go and tell your dad this then, you want. Tell him I said you have to stay well away from me from now on. Tell him I said I don't want anything to do with you or any member of your family from now on.
What the fuck are you on about?
You deaf? Or just stick. I don't want you or any member of your family coming anywhere near me or any member of my family from now on.
Hey, don't talk to her like that, Dinger.
What'd you say to me?
I said don't talk to her like that. It's not nice.
Do you want to see something that nice? Yeah.
Get your hands off me.
Take him, soda.
Is this what it's come to? Are you two? Soda?
What?
Oh, you're welcome to her.
What did you fucking say?
You know what? You're welcome to all of it. I don't want any of it anymore, and I tell you why. You've known my granny since we were wee. She lives in that wee bungalow. She's a Protestant for fuck's sake. She's voted Unionist her entire life, and look what's happening to her now. She's a prisoner in her own fucking house because of all this ratting.
Hey, we're doing the ratting.
Not anymore. I'm finished. I'm finished with all of it.
Fuck off, then.
My granny tells a story about the bravest men this country has ever seen. And that wee bitch runs straight round to tell her donor because she thinks us doing this ratting is the same as what they did fighting in a fucking world war.
Don't call her a bitch, bitch.
You were calling her worse only a week ago.
What did you call me, Soda?
I never called you anything.
There's a brave man talking now.
I'm braver than you.
Yeah, he's braver than you.
You don't see me not ratting because my granny told me to.
Okay, you're braver than me. Then listen to this. If her dad or one of his cronies sends somebody round to throw a petrol bomb through my granny's windows or something like that, I'm gonna blame you. And I'm gonna come straight round to your shithole of a flat. And we'll see how brave you are then, bitch.
I'll be waiting on you.
You could take him, Soda, couldn't you?
Oh, aye, of course. But here, do you think your dad would let me have a gun?
Fuck's sake.
Gentlemen, please be quiet. My name is Captain Wilfred Spender, and I have a short statement that I intend to make, and perhaps there will be time for questions afterwards. The Ulster Division has lost more than half the men who attacked, and in doing so has sacrificed itself for the Empire, which has treated them none too well. The much-derided Ulster Volunteer Force has won a name which equals any in history. Their devotion, which no doubt has helped the advance elsewhere, deserved the gratitude of the British Empire. It is due to the memory of these brave fellows that their beloved province shall be fairly treated. I would look to add further this short statement of my thoughts at this moment in time. I am not an Ulsterman. But yesterday, the 1st of July, 1916, as I followed their amazing attack, I felt that I would rather be an Ulsterman than anything else in the world.
When the golden sun sinks in the hills and the dawn